save all the virtual signaling and go right to the economics of what you're going to do and how it's going to impact us. Don't tell me, hey, vote for Kamala. It'll make women like you more. I'm already liked.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Union halls 8 years ago. We need to understand what working men and women want to talk about, which is economics, job security, how much food costs, what the cost of living is every single day. And Donald Trump, he's very good at understanding people's fears and his anxieties, but I haven't seen him do anything that's lowering costs right now. And when I'm home, I'm hearing it.
I'll defend the Democrats. They are for things. Illegal aliens. You're for boys and girls sports. I mean, you are for things.
Somebody call CPS. Somebody call CPS. Every time, more often than not, when Scott Jennings is on here, man, I just be like, get off them. Stop beating them like that, Scott. They just need to call Child Protective Services on Scott because he just be beating these kids. This is a grown-ass woman this is Sharia law. Scott? Cut this out, man. This is crazy. Jesus, man. I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt, man, but damn, that's good. Damn. You better. She said all that, and then he ain't even take the bait.
How much food costs, what the cost of living is every single day. And Donald Trump, he's very good at understanding people's fears and his anxieties, but I haven't seen him do anything that's lowering costs right now. And when I'm home, I'm hearing it.
I'll defend the Democrats. They are for things. Illegal aliens. You're for boys and girls sports. I mean, you are for things. And that's why you have such struggles right now in your party, because you're not for anything that's on the right side of any of the 80-20 issues that are driving this cultural divide in America. I think Wes Moore's actually a pretty talented communicator. The other person who spoke in South Carolina, Tim Walz, is this special mixture of extreme buffoonery and a mean spirit, which is a toxic brew. He is not the future of the Democratic Party. Moore is interesting. Probably more interesting than some of the radicals you have out there, Crockett, AOC. I mean, those are the true leaders of your party right now, but it'd probably be better off replacing them.
That's not true, and I'm not going to even let you.
That's not true, and here's the thing. What Democrats are for is for an exceptional.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest. When Scott Jennings said that Wes Moore was a talented communicator, kind of stung a little bit. It's like, sounds like the cousin of, he's very articulate and clean. Sound a little bit like Biden. Yeah, before you Democrats get your panties in a bunch, sound a little bit like Biden there with the compliment about the House spoken. And like saying it about black men who can put a sentence together. So well spoken. You never say white guys are well spoken. But everything else, yeah, ouch. You know, man, I don't know what possessed the Democrats. I put out a podcast about it yesterday on one of the segments, covered it, man. I think they are just very much caught up in this idea that they suck, and they just stuck that way. It's like, you know, when you're driving a car and you spin out, you're supposed to look in the direction that you want to go, not at the thing that you're going into. Democrats been looking at Trump. They haven't been looking at their constituents. They haven't been looking at their voters. They haven't been looking at their base. They haven't been looking at who they're trying to really get to support their party. And it's showing in all the numbers, man. They want to make it about independent media, man. Independent media is doing their thing. See, when truth is amazing, man. It's an amazing thing. When you tell the truth, people tend to listen. When you don't tell the truth, people tune your ass out. In that respect, there is a level of equity for everyone. Now, you know, Democrats have a problem. Their truth is not the truth that most of Americans abide. You know what I'm saying? This whole issues of men and women sports and all this to think anybody would lose an election, even partly, if Democrats lost 10% of the vote over that was enough to lose the election. I mean, Kamala lost, but she didn't lose by a billion, by 50 million. Well, was it 50 million? I don't know. I think it's like 5 million. Anyway, Johnson. Yeah, just a little, just being not such a weirdo would have helped him. But you know me, I'm glad it didn't help him because I want to get black people out of the Democratic Party. Because everyone's like, Tim, why you say these things about the Democrats? Ta-da! What Scott Jennings just said. They're on the wrong side of issues that matter most to black Americans and Americans in general. And then and then when you don't vote for them, they call you names.
I think Westmore's actually a pretty talented communicator. The other person who spoke in South Carolina, Tim Walz, is a special mixture of extreme buffoonery and a mean spirit, which is a toxic brew.
God damn. You called Tim Walz a buffoon. I'll take that. That's good. And how can Tim Walz be upset? Tim Walz referred to himself as a knucklehead. Yeah. And then he wondered why no one wanted to elect him as vice president. I don't know, man. Maybe it's because you said you admitted to the whole world you were a knucklehead. That's why you don't remember where you spent your time in the service, under what circumstances you were serving, when you were serving in the armed services, what capacity? Because you were a knucklehead? Oh, okay, fine.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
I think a part of the conundrum for Democrats is disintegration, this dislocation you've seen specifically among men is something that Democrats haven't really figured out, Congresswoman, how to communicate, how to fix those numbers. I mean, Hispanic men, Donald Trump saw an increase of 20+%. Black men in states like Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Texas, he saw double increases. And we're seeing signs that those numbers are likely going to persist. So if I'm a Democrat, it's not enough to just be against Trump. It's not enough to also articulate what you're for, but it's articulate what you're for that is palatable to a lot of Americans out there, specifically men of color who Democrats are currently bleeding.
Real quick. Look, I'm just going to tell you very quickly, we do get it. We're out there. We got a lot of young people out there working with them. And I'm not going to disagree. We lost all of them, but I think we've had a wake-up call, and we're working now to make sure we get it.
God, man, this lady, man, I'm going to give it up to her. I don't know if they pay you up. I don't know. Lady, why'd you accept this? This is, gotta come on and apologize for a party that's failing in so many areas. It's like, Jesus Christ. It's like making you wonder, like, hey, I don't know if I should even got out of bed this morning with all this. I gotta deal with this. I gotta explain why we can't keep Latino men. They sent an older white woman. I'm sorry, bless your heart. We all hope to get older. I hope to be here to get older. They sent an older white woman to explain why Latino men and black men, it's like peace. Latino men like, adios, amigos. Black guys like, later. So some black guys ain't even saying later. This is giving the head nod. I just. But so I covered this. Democrats are spending, I think it was 20 million. That was some number. I forget the number, man. They're spending some numbers. Millions of dollars the Democrats are going to invest in trying to come up with some language that will make men want to listen to them. You know what? Here's the language. Since look, I'm going to do this. I hesitate to do it because my political advice is worth money. But I'm going to give you one for free because I care about this country. My blood's in the soil. My family been here since the 1700s. So I'm going to give you this for free, okay? Don't worry about the language. It ain't about buzzwords. I don't need you coming up here talking about glazing and Riz. I don't need you trying to use no new slang. I don't need you going, what's up, dog? What's up, fam? I don't need you doing none of that. The stuff, Jasmine Crockett, I don't need you doing none of the black scent stuff. We don't need ALC trying to change your voice up. Hi, y'all. We don't need that. What we need you to do is talk about the money. That's what black people need you to do, is talk about the money. Talk about actually making due on your back paid taxes to Black America. That's what we need. If you ain't gonna do that, save all the virtual signaling and go right to the economics of what you're gonna do and how it's gonna impact us. Don't tell me, hey, vote for Kamala. It'll make women like you more. I'm already liked by my woman. I don't need the virtual signal by giving somebody my vote who don't give a damn about my situation. Economics is what we're looking for. I do not claim to speak for all Black Americans, but I do speak in advocacy for a certain Black American, and that is Black Americans without a trust account. Black Americans 35 to 75, new dads, old dads, granddads, great-granddads, them brothers who are not Democratic Party butt kissers, who are tired of the nonsense. It's that, you know? And in that group, it's a lot of cool-ass white guys, it's some down-ass Latinos, it's some amazing Asians and Native Americans and people of all different whatever tendencies. There's some women too, a lot of them. It's a lot of women too. It's a lot of women too. We all care, but we're all very much concerned with the economic viability of our families and taking care of our loved ones, being able to live indoors, take care of our families, feed them, put food on the table, roof overhead, plan for the future, plan for retirement. These are things that you should be talking about. The buzzwords, the vernacular, the stringing in a catchy phrase, you ain't got to rhyme. You ain't got to lie to kick it. You ain't got to pretend to be Drewski or Lil Michi, or you ain't got to be Kendrick Lamar. You want to spit some bars, make it about finances. Talk with that. Don't talk about Target boycotts. Al Sharpton gonna do them. Al Sharpton and Jamal Bryant gonna do them and get y'all lost again. I know Roland and them support it, and other people support it. Ain't gonna do nothing but lose. All right, that's it. Let's keep going. Look, and I got no problem with you losing because I feel the Democratic Party is dead and sinking, and we need to go ahead and bury it in the backyard and get some new parties going. But you know, just in case if people listening. There you go. That's on the House on the Tim Black Show. All right, guys, let's keep it moving. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Democrats don't know how to talk to men, Black men and Latino men. Talk money. Talk paper.